Okay, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We're going to unpack one of the most intense, literally multi-layered conflicts in all of Wuxia literature, the Siege of Xiangyang. Now, what makes this specific sequence so absolutely fascinating is, well, it's not just a massive geopolitical war between the Song dynasty and the invading Mongol army. It's actually equally about a deeply personal, super volatile quest for vengeance happening right smack in the middle of it. We're looking at a complete collision between the macro, like the survival of an entire nation, and the micro, a young man's desperate need to avenge his father.
So we start right in the thick of it, dead of night. Our protagonist, Yang Guo, is lying there, faking sleep in the dark bedroom of his hosts, Guo Jing and Huang Rong. Now, you gotta remember, Yang Guo has harbored these deep, dark suspicions about his father's death for a while. And tonight, he overhears a hushed conversation out in the courtyard. Huang Rong whispers, "I only regret not killing him sooner. His father slapped my shoulder and died of poison." Boom. For Yang Guo, listening from the shadows, this is the smoking gun. It totally fuels his belief that Guo Jing and Huang Rong murdered his dad Yang Kang. The die is cast, right? He decides right then and there he has to assassinate Guo Jing tonight.
And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates the supreme irony of their whole relationship. Yang Guo slowly draws his dagger, right? He's prepping to strike the fatal blow while Guo Jing is sleeping. But the literal second Yang Guo moves, his breathing changes, and Guo Jing immediately wakes up. But here's the crazy part. Guo Jing doesn't even think he's being assassinated. Because he knows Yang Guo practices martial arts, he completely misinterprets Yang Guo's tense posture and erratic breathing as a life-threatening qi deviation, like a massive internal energy crisis. So instead of defending himself, Guo Jing actually risks his own life. He exhausts his own profound internal energy to heal Yang Guo, meticulously guiding that chaotic breath back to normal. Yang Guo is just completely paralyzed by this. He's trapped by the very man he's trying to kill.
Section 1. Heroism and Patriotism.
Fast forward to the next morning, and the narrative brilliantly shifts focus. As the two of them ride out of the city to check the defenses, they see this massive flood of refugees fleeing the Mongol army. Looking at all this despair, Guo Jing recites some poetry by the legendary Tang Dynasty poet Du Fu. Then, he turns to Yang Guo and delivers what is, hands down, the most famous line in Wuxia history. To serve the nation and the people is the greatest heroism. Guo Jing is really anchoring this concept that being a true hero, a Shah, isn't about having the flashiest sword skills or winning duels. It's really about selfless service to the innocent and, the greater good.
So we've got two wildly different ideologies riding side by side here. On one hand, Yang Guo is just completely consumed by the past. His vision is narrowed right down to this single point of personal vengeance. But on the other hand, you have Guo Jing. His vision is totally expansive, focused entirely on the future of the Song dynasty's civilians and this incredibly heavy, unwavering duty. And Yang Guo's just sitting there thinking, how in the world can a man so noble have murdered my father? The cognitive dissonance is literally tearing him apart.
Section 2. Battle for Xiangyang. Suddenly, the Mongol army forces captured Song civilians. We're talking men, women, kids, to walk in front of their elite troops as human shields. It's a horrifying tactic. They're forcing the city defenders to either slaughter their own people or just let the enemy climb the walls. Naturally, the city commander refuses to open the gates. He's terrified Mongol spies are hiding among the refugees. But Guo Jing, he operates on a strict moral absolute. He says, even if there are spies, how can we sacrifice thousands of civilians? Open the gates. He just straight up refuses to compromise his morals. If saving innocents means risking the whole city, he's going to do it.
Let's break down how incredibly fast this situation devolves. Within, like a minute of the human shield tactic starting, Guo Jing leads this small, elite sortie out of the city gates to flank the Mongols and rescue the refugees. But because he absolutely refuses to use lethal force on the civilian shields, his movements are totally hindered. By the 10-minute mark, his noble refusal to kill innocents leaves him entirely surrounded by 4 elite Mongol units. It's bad. He actually manages to fight his way back to the city wall where his people throw down a rescue rope. But, and here's the kicker, at the 15-minute mark, the Mongols' top martial arts master, Jinlun Fawang, snipes the rope with an arrow right as Guo Jing is climbing it. No way, right?
This leads to just a breathtaking martial arts maneuver. With the rope snapped, Guo Jing uses an incredibly high-level technique called the cloud ladder. Fun fact about Wuxia lore, this technique actually requires the user to literally push off the air itself to keep their upward momentum going. So he's running straight up the sheer vertical wall of the city, but Jinlun Fawang fires another arrow, breaking Guo Jing's momentum just feet from the top. He is literally falling back into the enemy army. Up on the wall, Yang Guo is watching his target fall. I mean, this is his chance. If he does nothing, his father's killer dies. But in a split-second, deeply conflicted decision, Yang Guo leaps down, grabs the broken rope, and hauls Guo Jing to safety. He couldn't let him die like that.
Section 3. Into the enemy camp.
Later, to save his rather reckless disciples, Guo Jing, with Yang Guo tagging along, ventures straight into the heart of the Mongol camp. They end up in this crazy, tense diplomatic standoff inside Kublai Khan's tent. The Khan actually respects Guo Jing a lot, and he tries to recruit him. He argues that, hey, the Mongol Empire is way more prosperous than the corrupt Song dynasty. But Guo Jing delivers this unwavering, super patriotic speech. He makes it crystal clear that his loyalty is to the people, not the corrupt emperor. Recognizing that Guo Jing is never going to yield, the Khan's men spring a deadly ambush the second they step outside the tent.
And you've got to realize the sheer odds Guo Jing is facing here. He is vastly outnumbered by a literal elite hit squad. You've got Jinlun Gushi with his crushing golden wheel, Xia Shengzi using lethal toxic smoke from his baton, Nemo Jing wielding this bizarre, super unpredictable Iron Snake whip, and Ying Casey with his agile golden whip. It is basically a masterclass in varied combat styles, and Guo Jing has to fight his way out of this net while simultaneously trying to protect Yang Guo. And the crazy thing? Yang Guo is actively pretending to be injured just so he can find the perfect moment to backstab Guo Jing in all the chaos.
Section 4. The ultimate choice.
Okay, so while fighting off these four masters, Guo Jing takes a critical, rib-shattering hit from that iron snake. He is heavily injured, but instead of saving himself, he actually stoops down and puts Yang Guo on his back. So here's the burning question. Yang Guo is literally riding on the back of the man he believes murdered his father. He has his sword drawn, pointed directly at the back of Guo Jing's neck. All he has to do is thrust forward. But right beneath him, Guo Jing is desperately fighting through an encirclement of thousands of troops, literally coughing up blood, entirely focused on saving Yang Guo's life. What is he going to do?
In this absolute emotional crucible, Yang Guo just breaks. Hey, think about it. He's never known a father's love. Yet right here, right now, is a man sacrificing everything, throwing away his own chance at escape, just to protect him. The realization completely washes over him. A man this righteous, a man who loves him like his own son, he couldn't possibly be a villain. His desire for vengeance just evaporates. He completely breaks down and yells, "Uncle Guo, today I will die with you."
And what follows is just an explosive, incredibly bloody escape. Yang Guo completely abandons the assassination plot. He jumps off Guo Jing's back and turns his sword on the Mongol masters. He fights like a total madman, taking some really serious wounds himself, basically using his own body as a literal shield to protect the crippled Guo Jing. Yang Guo's deep internal conflict is finally resolved, not through some long conversation, but through brutal, self-sacrificing combat.
And I think that brings us to the core takeaway of this whole incredible sequence. This dual battleground, the physical siege of Xiangyang and the psychological siege raging inside Yang Guo's heart, it completely reshaped him. I mean, he walked into that camp as a bitter, vengeful boy, and he fought his way out as someone finally beginning to understand Guo Jing's philosophy of selfless protection. True heroism is forged in the fires of sacrifice. It really leaves us all to ponder. What is the actual cost of being a Wuxia hero? Is it about the enemies you defeat, or is it about the personal demons you have to conquer so you can protect the innocent? Well, thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.